Fear is your body's way of keeping you safe. It's a survival mechanism that we all have ingrained in us. But it's a lot of the fear is back in cavemen days when the threat of a dark, ominous cave probably meant that there was a saber-toothed tiger living in there, and that the fear that the cavemen felt was probably to keep them alive. But a lot of us nowadays experience fear that is not necessarily a threat to our physical survival, but maybe a threat to our emotional or psychological or mental survival. So today we're going to identify the common fears that we as lash artists or business owners face and how to kick those fears to the curb so that you're not held back by them anymore. So join me today on episode 23 of Lessons of a Lashpreneur show. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tara Walsh. I'm a licensed esthetician, master lash artist, and business coach, consultant, and marketing strategist for lash artists just like you. I coach lash artists from all over the world on how to start, build, and grow a thriving lash business on their own terms. I share bite-sized knowledge nuggets for you to start taking your business and your life to the next level and offer valuable insights, strategies to take you from overlooked to fully booked. This is the Lessons of a Lashpreneur, episode 23. Thank you for joining me today, guys. We all have fears. We do. I have fears. I still get held back by a lot of these fears myself. I challenge myself a lot on fears. I've come to realize when I start to head down a path of fear or I'm hesitant about something, and I really go deep into where the root of that fear comes from so that I don't continue to be held back by that fear. It takes a lot of challenging yourself and pushing yourself to being uncomfortable, which is all a part of entrepreneurship, to recognize when you are holding yourself back out of fear rather than out of maybe just not knowing what to do next, or maybe you're struggling with perfectionism. But we're going to get into the main fears that business owners, entrepreneurs, lashpreneurs, whoever runs a business, where we tend to hold ourselves back. And thus, we don't move forward. We don't ever get to our goals. We think our goals are something on a pedestal that sound nice, but we don't ever actually reach them. If that sounds anything like you, then you're likely struggling with 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these fears. All right, so let's dive into the 4 main fears that hold lash artists back and how to trick your mind to not be afraid and to actually move forward. The first fear we're going to cover today is the fear of failure. Heck yes, raise your hand, heart like, laugh out loud if you're a person who struggles with the fear of failure. This is what I like to call the what if syndrome, and this is where anxiety sufferers like to hang out. The catastrophizing the smallest little scenario into becoming this massive threat to your well-being. That would be a fear of failing, or a fear of not meeting the expectations that you have in your mind that it's going to be. So like if you have a really big goal, say you want to be a 6-figure lash artist, what happens if you don't make it to that 6 figures in the time frame that you picked out of a hat? Does that mean something about you? What if you open your own business and you can't afford to pay the rent? What happens then? Oh my God, the world stops. What happens if you get clients in, but they don't like your work? Oh my God, what would that mean about you as a lash artist? You opened up a business and you're a lash artist, yet nobody likes your lashes. What if? What if you borrow a bunch of money from friends or family or from a bank, or charge up a bunch of credit card bills to open your business and then you have to shut it down? What happens then? You are just bankrupting your family. Or what if you invest in this training or this program and you don't get the results and you've wasted money? What happens then? Right? It's kind of this psychological spin that we go through, especially if you suffer with anxiety, that you're just talking yourself in circles so that you never actually do what it is that you initially think, this is something I should do. So my solution for you what-ifers, or you fear of failure-ers, is to change your what if to so what. So what if you open your business and you can't afford to pay the rent? Well, then you either need to work up as part-time as a lash artist and have another source of income coming in until your lash business can support you, or you get a place that has cheaper rent. When you change your what if to so what, it turns you into a problem solver rather than this, I will never find a solution, it's too scary to start. So what if you get clients in the door but they don't like your work? Well, then you're getting clients in the door. First of all, that's amazing. Second of all, they are giving you feedback on where you need to focus your efforts into changing your artistry or improving your skill set. You're not going to know that information until you get people's feedback. What if you borrow all this money to open up your business and then you have to shut it down? Well, that's what bankruptcy's for. No, I'm totally just kidding. It's a joke. Don't let anybody tell you that bankruptcy is the way to plan a business out. Start small and don't borrow more than you can handle to pay back in a reasonable amount of time. If you are going to get loans or borrow money from friends or family, always start small. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And if you don't have a means of paying back whatever money it is that you have borrowed, then maybe you're dreaming a little too big for that moment, or you're not ready to jump on that kind of dream. You're actually setting yourself up for more stress if you're trying to take out a lease for a 2,000 square foot space and you want to build it out, and it's tens of thousands of dollars for the build out, and you don't have a staff and this is your first business. That might be too much at that time. And so your fear there is actually just cautioning you to then maybe start small and grow organically rather than jumping in and just setting yourself up for a very stressful few months or years. So what if you invest in a training program or an education or an educator and you don't get the results and you've wasted money? If that's the prospect that you're kind of tossing around in your head, that there's this training program you want to get, but it's really expensive and you don't think you can afford it, or you don't think you can get your money back, what is stopping you from being comfortable with moving forward with that? Is it that the company or the educator doesn't offer some sort of support? Have you even asked what kind of support or refund or guarantee that they offer? Same can be said for our clients, right? They have no guarantee that your $300 price tag on your volume set is going to get them the results they want. It's up to you as the business owner to educate them on, yes, I guarantee your satisfaction, or, we will make sure that no matter what, you're walking away happy. Same thing can be said for you as a customer to a educator or a training program. What can they do to reassure you that it is a worthwhile investment? And if they don't have any form of support, or they don't have any way for you to feel comfortable with purchasing, that they're just like, well, this is my price, like take it or leave it, that might not be the best avenue. It may be your spidey sense saying, this is not the best place to spend my money. I need to look elsewhere. Most educators worth their salt will have some sort of support to make sure that you're set up for success. If they don't have that in place, they're either really, really new, or they don't care about your success and they just care about your money. So that is your spidey sense kind of going, I need to look into this further. But that doesn't mean don't invest because it's a scary investment. It just means that you have to figure out how to get the return. I want to just bring a news flash, and you've probably heard me say this before. Failure is a part of being a business owner. Failure is a part of life. We don't come out of the womb knowing how to run, right? It takes us a while to be able to sit up on our own and hold our head upright, and then be able to crawl and then walk and then run. And we fall lots of times before we have mastered running. And then some of us, once we learn how to run, we never run again, right? It's just a part of life. Failure is there to grow and evolve you. If you look at failure to mean something about you, that you suck at life, that you suck at business, that you suck as a lash artist, well, then you're going to make that failure mean more than really what it should. You shouldn't be afraid of failure. You should embrace it, recognize that it is a lesson to be learned when you fail. And I use fail in quotations because we assign what failure means. And oftentimes we assign what failure means because of another fear. And that's the next fear on our list. That is the fear of rejection. So this fear stems from being a part of a herd. So I've used this analogy before, and this goes back to survival, right? Caveman days, if you will, if we're using that as our example of where fears and kind of instincts come from. It was safer to be a part of a herd, right? You by yourself alone in your little cave with the saber-toothed tiger probably has a better chance of surviving if you have a community that is also fighting the saber-toothed tiger. There is safety in numbers when you're in a survival situation, right? Even babies, it takes a village to raise a baby. It takes a lot of people to keep the little kids safe. It's for our species survival. But our fear is rejection when our physical safety is not at threat, which for most of us in, modern day, our physical safety isn't always at risk at any given moment. It's more of our mental, our emotional, and our psychological survival that is a lot more at risk nowadays than more so, us running into a saber-toothed tiger on a dark alley. So we are social animals. It is our instinct to be a part of a community, either a group of friends, a Lash community, or most people's herd is their family, right? So we have this fear of rejection from our herd, our group of friends, our family members, our industry, our community. Oftentimes our fear of rejection can come from people we don't even know. Our society, our strangers. I can't post this. I can't curse, or I can't talk about something this way, or I'm too afraid to put my work out there for fear of being judged, or fear of rejection that somebody's going to say why, or going to question me or challenge me and my skill set or my artistry, or think I'm not good enough. Now, what does that mean? Being rejected by your herd can be a terrifying, terrifying thought. I get it. I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize relationships, but I also want you to think about the relationships that you have. Are you being held back in your life or your business because your group of friends is not the most driven people in the world? Maybe they're all employees. Maybe they just start jobs over and over again and they never get to a level of success in their career for whatever reasons. If you're surrounding yourself with those types of people, then yeah, you're going to be afraid to be the one that stands out and has success, or that is not living paycheck to paycheck. If all of your friends and even your family members are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's not a lifestyle you want to live, here's your solution: change your herd. Ooh, that's a tough one, right? Because a lot of these people, we are choosing to have a relationship, or we've had a relationship with them for a really long time, or they're our family. Like, how are we supposed to change our family? You don't necessarily change them. You change how they interact with your life. So yes, surround yourself with people who support you and encourage you, no matter how big your dreams get, no matter how ridiculous they sound. I mean, most of us, when we said we're going to be lash artists as business owners, probably got a couple people in our life who were like, okay, how long are you going to play that game for before you go get a real job? And yet, a lot of us are sitting back going, I make more money than you now. Anyways, maybe that's just my life and experience. But if you are hungry for success, if you want to be a six-figure lash business owner, but nobody in your life is a business owner or earns six figures, you're going to have a really hard time being the one who's doing that, unless you're surrounding yourself with people who have those same aspirations or who aren't held back by that fear of rejection, because they will help support you. Because guess what? Business ownership, even lash artistry, is very up and down. It's a roller coaster. So having that support system that's going to get you through the hard times and who's going to encourage and support you when things are really, really tough, I can't guarantee they won't be tough, then that's how you're going to get past this fear of rejection, because you know that there's people in your life that do support you, that aren't going to reject you, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you're really super successful, who are going to celebrate with you when you have the success that you reach, and then you're making new and bigger goals. Change your herd, or change the impact your current herd has on you and your decision making if you want to move past this fear of rejection. Now, I did mention a fear of success in that fear of rejection, and I want to touch on that as another fear. Some people actually fear success. I struggled with this just recently, that I knew I was going through a transformation to take my business to the next level, and I actually was afraid of that next level because I didn't know what was waiting there. I knew I was excited about it, but there was a part of me who felt ill-equipped to handle that kind of success because it was an income amount. It was a goal of mine that I had never reached before. Does that mean that I should not reach for it just because I've never experienced it? No. You looking at your goals, if your goals are small and conservative, great, but I want bigger goals. And I focus very heavily on this in my Lashpreneur Society, that great, you reached your first goal. What's the next one? We want bigger goals. I want goals that scare you, because it's one thing to reach a conservative goal, like, oh, I really want to start with 10 clients, that'll be great. Or if I could just cover my bills, that'd be great. Entrepreneurship is a game, right? It's fun, exciting. It's constantly growing and evolving, not only you as a person, but you as a business owner, but also, why not challenge yourself? Why not dream big and knock your socks off by doing something you never thought you could do? That's where confidence in yourself as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a woman comes from, is when you do something that blows your own mind. So your fear of success might also be stemming from this fear that money is bad, or that you're greedy for wanting money. Money is one of those necessities in life. And when I start to have these kind of mindsets of, oh, I don't know, this is a really uncomfortable number for me. I don't know what my life is going to look like if I had an excessive amount of money. I know, first world problems, but that is a fear that a lot of people struggle with, is I don't know what that level of success looks like. I don't know anybody who's at that level of success. I don't know what their day-to-day looks like. Is this too much? Can I handle it? Am I worthy of it? Do I deserve it? You may have some inherent feelings about money that somebody else's fears, probably from your childhood, have kind of grown in you. So if money is bad, if you're greedy, if you want money, or money is yucky, or people who have money are yucky, that's likely somebody else's fear or perception of money and wealth comes from. I can tell you my approach, anytime I start to go down a path of like, what am I doing with this money? Is it bad that I want so much money? Should I be ashamed of my success and my wealth and my hard work paying off? I use the quote, more income, more impact. Can you imagine, say you envision yourself and you have all of your bills covered, but not just all of your bills covered. You actually can go on vacation and take time off on occasion. In fact, you can do really awesome vacations, and you shouldn't feel ashamed to brag about it because you work very hard and because you love what you do. Why is that a bad thing? What happens when you have all of that covered and you still have more money coming in? Couldn't you then pay it forward? Couldn't you be more charitable? Couldn't you support somebody, a family member perhaps, be more generous, be more charitable, be more giving with more income? So instead of looking at money or income or wealth as a bad thing, or feeling greedy or feeling kind of icky around money, always be thinking more income, more impact. The more income I make, the more people I can impact, whether that's I have enough money to have a really great salon and I can expand and hire on a team so I can make more women in my community feel beautiful. That would be one positive, right? More income, more impact. Maybe I can send my kids to a better school. Maybe I can afford a mortgage. Maybe I can afford a house with a yard and a driveway. Maybe I can afford a car that doesn't break down every 3 months. More income, more impact. And honestly, the more secure you are in your finances, the happier we'll be, and the more impact you'll have on your family life and those around you, and the more you will have in your reserve tank to be able to invest in others and to be able to impact even our industry. Maybe you want to be an educator. If you have your finances in place, you can devote the time to coming up with a technique, maybe an application, a product line that we don't have in this industry yet. And having the income to be able to support yourself and not be stressed about money is going to allow you to do that. All right, and all those three fears, failure, rejection, success, all stem from this one fear, and that is a fear of judgment. I fear it, you fear it, we all fear it. I don't care if you say, I don't care what anybody else thinks. You care about what some people think. You know, everybody can have a thick skin, but there's always a couple people in our life that can dig through that and really hit to the core of us. And sometimes we fear being hurt by that judgment. But that's not a threat to our survival. It's just a threat to our perception of ourselves. So a lot of times this fear of being judged comes across as perfectionism. So a lot of lash artists, especially because what we do is very detailed work, it's very perfect work, hold themselves back because it's not perfect. You don't move forward in your business, you don't move forward in your life, you don't even try, you don't even step up to the plate, you don't even start because it's not done the way that you want it done. It's not perfect, it's not your vision, and you don't even start. You focus so much on perfection that you lose sight of just starting. This can show up for most of us as, it's not how I want it yet, it's not finished, it's not perfect, it's not good enough to post on social media, I don't have the experience or the certifications or the skill set to be a successful business owner or an educator or start a product line or hire on a team. Us using this perfectionism excuse keeps us comfortable, right? It keeps us safe from putting ourselves out there to be judged. I can tell you, as somebody who has a decent following on social media, Can you imagine if I never started the Lashpreneur because of fear of judgment? And I struggled with it, and I still struggle with it sometimes. I don't want to share certain things because I don't want to be judged. And then I kind of have a little reality check with myself. It's like, who cares about what these people that are going to judge me think? I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about the impact my message has on you. And if I don't share that knowledge or that experience or that skill set or that strategy, I'm actually inhibiting you from moving forward in your life. And my goal as a Lashpreneur in my business is to help you move forward in life. So how selfish am I, so worried about what other people are going to think? And I'm actually impacting my ability to grow you and your business and your life, which is why I'm in business in the first place. So my solution for you, if you fear being judged, which most of us do, is focus on who you can help, not on the risk that you're taking. So if you fear failing in your business, what if your success was inevitable? What if you took that mindset that failing is just a part of my path to be successful, and it's just a matter of time until I reach that level of success? And if I take failure off of the table, that I don't define anything as a failure, then how many more people in my life, in my community, in my city, town, whatever, can I impact because I wasn't afraid to fail, that I stepped up and I just put myself out there? How many women in our industry, if you wanted to become an educator, could you impact if you just stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, I'm going to start mentoring people, or I'm going to just create a training manual and I'm going to do it justice and market it and see how many women's lives I can impact. I have something to share. I have lots of knowledge. I've taken lots of trainings. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Start putting it out there. How many people can you impact versus, ooh, this is scary for me? If your friends or family are negatively impacted by your success, so we have this fear of rejection, what if you wished them well and kept them at a distance so that they didn't take you down emotionally or mentally? Protecting your mind and your mindset is a huge part and a huge everyday challenge of running a business, because it's just on us. You're the business owner. If you start to go down a mental rabbit hole, ain't nobody gonna stop you unless you have the right people in place, or you have enough kind of wherewithal about yourself to know that that's where you're heading. You don't need people who are going to tear you down. I think our brains do a pretty good job of that on our own, so we don't need external forces reminding us of that. This is your life, not theirs. How might your kids, your spouse, your community, our industry be forever changed or bettered because you weren't fearing being rejected by either close friends and family, by some troll behind a keyboard on social media, behind somebody who disagrees with what you have to say? I can tell you some of the most successful business owners that I know of have ruffled some feathers and had people severely disagree with them, and it's okay. It's okay for people to challenge you. It's okay for you to disagree or agree to disagree, but it's not okay for you to be held back by the fear of what other people might say about you. And if you fear success, trust that you will figure it out. Little insider tip, none of us have it figured out. None of us know what we're doing. We're all making it up as we go. And the more you make up stuff and the more you figure it out, the better you get at making stuff up and figuring it out. It is a muscle to exercise in figuring it out and trusting yourself that it's going to be okay, right? Like, we're all at a point, like, we've gone through stuff in life. We've had ups and downs in life, in our business, and you know what? It does end up being okay. And we'll figure it out. The human brain, the human mind always tries to work towards being okay. So yes, the struggles, the ups and downs of life, being successful, not being successful. If you want to be successful, it's constantly evolving what that means to you. So being a success, maybe when you're first starting out, is just starting and opening your business, finding a salon and being open for business. Your next level of success may be getting clients in the door consistently. Your next level of success may be coming fully booked. And then you get to fully booked and you're like, wow, I actually want more than just being fully booked. I actually want to work less but make more. So you raise your prices. There's always a new definition of success, and there's always struggles and challenges that come with that. And being okay and moving forward in your life and moving forward in your business and celebrating the small wins is how fearing success kind of starts to be a little bit less. So your fear of failing, rejection, success, and judgment is not keeping you alive. It's keeping you stuck. Facing your fears, your hesitation, your nervousness, your anxiety around whatever that next big step is in your life, just say, so what? So what if I'm afraid? Is that going to stop me? Am I not going to move forward? And am I not going to impact the people that I could impact and positively change their lives if I stay held back? I love the saying, jump and the net will appear. It's true to entrepreneurship that you don't wait to see where you're landing. You don't wait to see what's happening next or the next 12 steps. You just jump and you figure it out along the way. So today I want to leave you with jump and the net will appear. If you've been enjoying the Lessons of a Lashpreneur show, I'd love for you to help me spread the word about it and share either this video or if you're listening as a podcast, share it with a friend who you think would benefit from this kind of mindset training, business training, marketing strategies. And if you are listening to it on a podcast, if you could leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, you can head to thelashpreneur.com/podcast to find out where to leave a review. Let's make sure that every lash artist in our community has access to the information they're so desperately needing and to be empowered to transform their businesses and their lives. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a good one.